Hi, I am going to talk about the graphic novel Persepolis by Marjan Satrapi. First, I am going to talk about the author Marjan Satrapi, that was born in Raj, Iran, on November 22 of 1969. Marjan is a graphic novelist, cartoonist, illustrator, film director, and children's book author. She became famous because of her autobiographic graphic novel Persepolis, that she wrote in the 2000s. The first chapter, The Veil, is about the Islamic revolutions that took place in 1979. In this revolution, women were forced to wear veils. Because of that, many of them were against this movement, and they started to march on the streets. One of them was Marjan's mom, who went out on the street and was seen by the media, and it came out in a magazine, so many people recognized her, and she had to change her hair color and hide for a while. Marchand, from she was very young, was very religious, so she believed that she could be the last prophet to help the people, especially the people that were close to her. She had her own rules, where many of her rules came from the fierce prophet Zarathustra. Many people make laugh of her because of that, but she wanted to be the justice, love, and wrath of God. Also, she was looking for equality. The second chapter is about the revolution in Iran. Marjans make a comparison between the bicycle and the revolution. Marjan began to report a lot about this and read a lot about the revolution in her country. However, Marx was her favorite writer, so much that he compared him with God. In this chapter also happened an event that marks the beginning of the revolution, that was the burning of a cinema with many people inside. The fathers, the parents of Marjans, they are going to march the next day because of that. And Marjans wants to go with them, but they didn't allow it. Also, in this chapter, they symbolically show how Marjan moves away from God. The third chapter tells how the parents of Marjans march and throw rocks every day because the revolution is starting. Also, the fathers of Marjan tell the history of Shah's father. The father of Shah wants to establish a republic, but he didn't have the education or the leadership capacity. Because of that, the English, uh, with his great power and his heiress of Middle East oil, gave him the power to seize the throne. In this part, the grandfather entered to the history when the father of Shah was going to confiscate all his properties. When he see that he was a very intelligent man, he turned him prime minister. The grandfather of Marjin started to get together with the intellectuals of the throne, and because of that he became a communist. So he started to go against Shah's father. This caused him hours in prisons and some tortures. The fourth chapter talked about the history of the family of Margins, beginning with her grandfather and her grandmother. Also, the father of Marjans didn't return early to home. He pasted the picture of the revolution that hit every day. So Marjan, his mother, and his grandmother were waiting for him, very worried because they thought that he could have died due the photo he hits. However, he came with a history when we was in front of the hospital hitting the forest. Some people came out carrying an old man who had just died of cancer, and everyone thought he had died because of the revolution, and saw him like a hero. So they conclude that everyone who died in those days was a martyr. The fifth chapter is about Marie, the employee of the family uh, of Margie. She becomes girlfriend of her neighbor. So she told his real sister, who works in the uncle's of Margie's uncle house, about that. When the sister of Margie saw him, she fell in love with the boy. So because of jealousy, she told Margie's uncle, who later told Margie's grandmother, then to the Margie's mother, and then to Margie's father. Found out. The father told the boy and told him that Mary was an employee for, for what he broke up with her. Margin began to understand the social class difference because of that. Margin decided to go along with Marie to the Revolution March. because of the decision of his father and without permissions of her parents. When the parents realized they were in the revolution, they punished and beat him because that same day, in another march, many people had died. The sixth chapter is about the end of the Shah's reign. She attempts to institute democracy in Iran, but it's too late for this and is removed from the throne. There was a big party in Iran because of that. After this, Marjan's neighbors believed themselves martyrs and began to invent stories about the revolution. The friend of Marjan's, named Ramin, had a father who was a follower of Shah, so he killed 1 million of people. Because of this, she and her friends wants revenge by her own hands. However, her mom stopped her and told her that it was not the way to do it, since they want to hit him with nails. Mother of Margins teach her forgiveness and she forgives Ramin, who is still not sorry for that. Her father, her father did so for her father did so Marjan understands that she has to know how to forgive. Thank you for your attention.